Full Service Radio is proudly supported and hosted by Simplecast, the easiest way for a podcast creator to publish and distribute audio on the internet. For more information, visit simplecast.com.
You're tuned into Full Service Radio.
Full Service Radio.
Full Service.
Full Service. Full Service.
Full Service Radio.
Peace, everyone, and welcome to the Edible Activist Podcast. I'm your host, Melissa L. Jones, broadcasting live from the lobby of the Line, D.C. This podcast is where dynamic people of color in the food and agriculture space share their personal food journeys, passions, and perspectives that stem from the land, all exemplifying the spirit of activism in their own edible way. Let's get started.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Chris from Afro Beats back at it again, and you're listening to the Edible Activist Podcast, broadcasting live from the Line DC on Full Service Radio. I'll be taking over for our OG host, Melissa L. Jones, for the month of July, but don't worry, she'll be back. But until then, I want to continue to bring you dynamic and amazing guests here on the Afro Beats Podcast. And speaking of amazing and dynamic, we have a guest in the studio today. Our next guest, Kimora Brock, is an entrepreneur, healer, activist, and artist who's passionate about living a life close to nature and helping those around her live their best lives. When she's not participating in the performing arts or anchoring a record-breaking 4x400 collegiate track team, she has an active role as founder and CEO of Malibu Trail Mix, a live nutrient-dense superfood snack mix with a variety of delicious raw organic berries, nuts, and seeds. Some of the topics you can expect us to talk to today on is learning about Kimora's personal journey as an activist and entrepreneur, discussing self-love and how we can achieve it through the foods we eat, and talking about how we can heal ourselves through natural medicines and holistic practices. So welcome, Kimora.
Why, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad you gave me those nuts, the trail mix before, because I didn't want Melissa to be mad at me about the sound quality.
Yeah, I was going to say the
munching
crunching.
on it. Yeah, they're real close, but thank you so much for bringing that. And she brought me some
worries.
watermelon juice. Y'all.
Yeah, fresh pressed with the seeds.
So,
okay.
Yeah, your boy is fresh out here. Thanks for blessing my space.
Oh, no worries.
So,
that's my job.
I feel like I only mentioned probably about 25% of what you actually do. So I'm hoping you can fill in some of the blanks here. What is your origin story? Tell us more about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm a native Washingtonian, born and raised here in D.C., went to National Cathedral schools, 4th through 12th grade, all girls. Standard American diet growing up with my family, but I also ran track and field, and, I had, thoughts about what I was putting into my body and how it was going to, help me improve my time or, build muscle, things like that. And then I went to college at Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut, and studied pre-med. I always knew I wanted to be a doctor or some sort of health professional. But then, junior year, when you're applying to, thinking about applying to med schools and what internships you wanted to do, not many of them had nutrition-based practices. Out of the 4 years at medical school, 3 weeks is spent on, preventative maintenance and
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear
really
medical students don't get actually that much nutrition, in their planning in their curriculum. It's something less than, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the med students are over there eating ramen noodles,
Yeah.
studying for exams. And I'm like, what are you doing?
And they're the most stressed ones, right?
Yes,
they're not
yes.
even taking care of themselves.
Exactly. And, the burnout rate for doctors now is so high, all the school, lack of, work-life balance, self-care, self-love most of all. And then, having to put their patients first consistently without having a full cup.
Right.
So
yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that self-love aspect. So you've always had kind of a health conscious. You wanted to get the most performance out of your body.
Definitely.
As an athlete. So what were you eating before you made that change? How did you make that transition? What was that defining thing?
My friend on the track and field team was a vegetarian in college. And I was like, how are you doing this? Like, she was like, oh, I feel so good. I feel so happy. And she was telling me all about that. You know, we had an open cafeteria, you know, food everywhere. So she was just like, you know, it's focus instead of going to these lines where it's like pizza, carbs, starch, you know, pasta, all that stuff. She was like, start at the salad. Start with the salad. Yeah. And, you know, things like edamame. She was like, high protein, high energy. Things like, you know, bananas, dates. You eat that for breakfast smoothie. And
dates are my, like, absolute favorite snack. I love
the
them.
jewels. Yes, they are. So, yeah, she really inspired me to go vegetarian. And then it was like maybe 3 months later, I was vegan.
Nice. So there was a pretty progression. I know there's some people that like
huge
just go cold turkey and like.
No, I cut out 4 legs first.
Okay.
Anything with 4 legs. Then I did 2 legs. Then I did the fish. Then I did the cheese and eggs. And those were the hardest ones for me, the cheese and the eggs. Cheese is like a drug. Yeah.
So let's talk about your trail mix business. Yeah, Malibu Trail Mix, which is amazing. Like I said, I have to put it away. I can't even see it right now because I don't want to munch on those. So like, what was that journey like for you? How did you begin your journey as an entrepreneur?
Oh my goodness. So I was living in Los Angeles to pursue, you know, a health-based lifestyle along with performing arts. That is a journey. Yeah, it took me 6 months to start that company. Okay. And it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I was crying. I was, you know, trying to get through. So to start the company, I actually went and lived in a van for 6 months, like sort of homeless life, in order to fund my company, which was a hard thing to do for me growing up with a family that, you know, is so traditional. And my parents were like, what are you doing? You know, like, is this even worth it? You know? But I saved the money that I was using. I still had my job at the juice bar along with like the commercials I would book and things like that in LA. And I would just fund all that money back into my company. You know, the bags cost, you know, a certain amount, like $5,000. Saving rent, that's easy to make if you don't have to pay $1,000, $1,200 a month in rent. So yeah, priorities. It's really about using your priorities and, you know, really focusing on what is your priority.
I think a lot of people get, you know, entrepreneurs, like it's so popular now and it's just so many, like it is hard work. And like the fact that you have your own like production and you know, that's just an incredible story already in itself.
It was rough, to be honest. And, you know, you have to, you know, promote the company. I was doing it myself. Like I had my ex-boyfriend at the time who was, you know, but yeah.
We ain't gonna go there.
We ain't even gotta go into that in this podcast. But yeah, no, just like moving around, shipping, driving from upstate to, you know, Los Angeles just to get the accounts. Like at one point, Malibu Trail Mix had over 20 accounts in Los Angeles. Wow. And that was all me driving and going there and then hustling, packaging myself, you know, sprouting in a dehydrator. Like that's love. Love is the ingredient because it's, you know, at first I didn't make that much money back. You know, $2 a bag, that's nothing compared to like $19.99 a pound for Brazil nuts and, you know, sprouted almonds and things like that. So I took it into my own hands to, you know, manufacture that sort of stuff and bring it out to the community.
That was your own little labor of love. Yeah.
That's what I like to call it, my labor of love.
Speaking of love, let's talk about self-love for a second.
Yes.
Because I was actually going through your blog and I came out with this article that said radical self-love.
Radical self-love.
And you encourage people to do something interesting. You're like, take a song you love. Yes. I think it was Adorn by Miguel.
Oh my God, yes, it was.
Take a song you love and then sing it like they're singing it to a beloved. They're singing it to somebody else, but you sing it to yourself and like eternalize that and love yourself.
I do.
So what does self-love mean and how does food relate to self-love?
Okay. Self-love is honestly nourishing your soul at the most minute level so that you can radiate throughout. And when you're nourished, you're fully nourished, just like food, you're able to, share your highest and best with other people. You're not subconsciously lacking stuff, so you're not pulling from other people. Like energetically, some people might need attention. But if you're fully nourished within yourself, you don't need to be pulling that attention from other people. You can shine and glow on your own instead of, depleting others. If that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. When I'm thinking of the times when I'm eating like a lot of like junk or like a lot of like sugar cakes, all that stuff, it's because I'm like either stressed about something or I'm looking to like fill something something, that give. What?
It's true.
Can you talk on like that? Have you ever had like challenges like that?
Yes. Yeah. I'm telling you, one of the reasons like I really, really focused on nourishment of my body was I struggled with depression, and through track and field, all of that sort of stuff. It was a time where, I didn't have the friend group that I initially thought I was going to be in. And it was just a, tumultuous time.
Yeah. That LA life, I hear it's kind of shady. Yeah.
Oh my, it can be. So moving into nutrition, one of my friends was like, it really helped my mental health to eat a salad a day. Yeah. And she was like, it might taste nasty, but I really feel good because I did something good for myself, something that was healthy. And then my body actually loves this food. And it only takes 3 months to change your taste buds. Yeah. So after those 3 months of eating a salad a day, you're like, I'm ready for the next step.
Right.
What's going to make me feel even better than what I felt before?
We're going to take a pause here. And if you're just listening, I'm Chris from Afrobeats here on the Edible Activist podcast. We're here with our guest, Kimora Brock. With Full Service Radio, and we're just talking a little bit about eating habits and how self-love can be shown through eating. And I actually want to get into what like your diet is. What does a day in the life of eating kind of look like for you? I heard your you don't like titles, but like
I don't like titles.
A lot of people would describe it as like the alkaline diet, but
definitely.
Explain to me kind of what that is, what you do, and what works for you.
Okay. 2 raw meals a day, at least. Smoothie salad. Done.
Easy.
Yeah. So the smoothie in the morning could be kale, banana, date. Those are like awesome ingredients that I love to put in. What else? Bee pollen, spirulina, things like that, like those superfoods, but that's not even the main ingredient.
Okay.
Like kale, banana, date.
Just a little extra flavor on top of it. Okay.
And then the salad, love arugula. I could do arugula, tomatoes, pine nuts, a little balsamic, something like that.
Okay.
But big salad. Oh, yeah, I chef it up. Okay. One thing, another raw meal I like to do is the sushi wraps. I'll do shaved carrot, mushrooms, just like, quick little stir fry or something. Just warm them up on the pan. And then you roll it up in the nori with the, jicama or whatever else you want to add.
So a lot of those are electric foods?
Electric foods,
okay, what does that exactly mean for our viewers, our listeners?
That means they are high vibrational, nutrient dense, electric conductive foods. So they have chlorophyll, which comes from, the cells, and the sun actually activates the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll. And it's like the blood of the plant. So instead of eating the blood of animals,
it's a life force.
It's a life force energy. Yes. So that really helps you live your best life by, eliminating the middleman of the animals and just going straight to the source.
Gotcha.
And that's what we need to be doing in life, going straight to the source.
Now, a lot of people would be surprised at what is and what isn't like electric foods. What are some of the things people might be surprised about? I think like corn, that's corn. Not really...
corn comes from a long lineage, but it has been genetically modified. Even now, organic corn, quote unquote.
It's just a label.
It's just a label. Yeah. But they had different colors of corn. Like purples, and
I've seen a rainbow corn. I think before,
and those have more nutrients. You want to think about the more color it has in it. That's what you want to add to your.
That's
body.
why it's so appealing to us when we see that bright red or yellow. Okay.
Exactly. So alkalinity, anything on the pH scale higher than 7, because 7 is neutral. And that's why alkaline water is so popular now, because, you know, it's one easy way to like add more, change the environment of your body, of your internal body.
Yeah.
For a more positive, not harmful, not cancer-causing environment.
Right.
So anything that's not alkaline, like basic, even like basic foods, the pH is a cancer-inducing environment. And then if you have an alkaline environment, it's, you know, most people do not have cancer who have alkaline environments inside of them.
So less likely to deal with cancer.
Extremely less likely. Yes.
Okay. Definitely need to look into that. So we talked about the internal, the healing. What about the external? What do you, I'm going to say, what do you do? But it's like 5 different things. Like, what are some holistic practices, some services that you offer that you do?
Okay, so conscious consumer consulting. I consider myself a consultant. If you are interested in anything health and wellness, consult me. Yeah. Whether that's plant-based diet, lifestyle, removing chemicals and different carcinogens from the environment in your homes, which is, you know, a sacred space. Yeah. In a place where you're really supposed to restore and, you know, rejuvenate yourself. That's the word, rejuvenate. So a lot of people have harmful chemicals and stuff that actually like deplete them and make them feel, you know,
what are some examples of those, like in your space you can find?
Different laundry detergents, you know, so what you're washing your clothes with and what you're sleeping on. You wash your sheets and then you're sleeping, you're spending 70% of your, 30% of your life in sleeping. And that's a lot of time when you add it all up. So like,
I definitely noticed that. Like, I'll be like sleeping on like sheets or something. Like, I definitely needed to wash like 2 days ago, and I'm like, okay, this is like clogging me up. I'm waking up, snorting and all that like stuff. Like, I'm not.
Hey, a fresh pair of sheets can change your life.
Yeah,
okay,
for real. Like, I feel like a new baby boy. Like waking up with some fresh sheets.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I'm telling you. Yeah. So things like that.
Yeah, and not only that, like it's about sustainability too, right? Like not everything. It's not, one is not good for you, and it's also not good for the environment. Yeah. What are some like practices that you kind of like teach your clients and you give advice on to be more sustainable?
Yeah. So I have one client who's into juicing. Really just wanted to learn how to juice. So we made a green juice. All the pulp and stuff that you get from the green juice, you can, you know, put it into a dehydrator, make some crackers or something like that, make a little flatbread. Or you could take that same compost from the juicer, put it into some dirt, start mixing it up, and you have a compost bin, and you can use that to nourish your plants. You know, my herb garden is thriving right now. I saw on the Insta,
you had some herbs on a whole wall up there. I was like,
God,
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. And I think it's because of the compost.
Okay.
Honestly.
I think that's what, compost can be so expensive, especially if you're doing like a home garden. And it's not that hard to do. Like, do you have any like compost bins or like really small thing? You do like a worm bin?
I had a few worms.
Okay. You had a few worms.
A few worms.
Are they still
My
around,
sister does not allow me to live my best life when it comes to compost. She's like,
oh my God. My mom is the same way. I'd be like, Mom, we need some ladybugs, some beneficial insects. She's like, boy, if you bring those bugs into my house, we're going to have a problem.
Exactly.
Like,
she's like, more it stinks.
Right.
I'm like, okay, turn it. But yeah, that's really, composting is one of my favorite sustainable things. I have eucalyptus, mint, rosemary, lavender, cilantro, basil.
And it didn't look like a huge space either on your.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really am proud of that fact.
Yeah.
I have a small outdoor little patio. And one side of it gets sun, and it's really beneficial for the herbs to have sun. So I put it's a vertical wall planter.
Okay.
And, you know, when I was in college, I did this thing called Wild Walls, where we made vertical planters and put them around the school just to, like, you know, grow lettuce and things like that. But it's easy and it's affordable to make your own food at home, you know, even if you start with just herbs, which is what I did.
Yeah.
My mom, on the other hand, and my grandma, they have gardens that will, like,
and blow you out of the water.
Yes, they really will. But
she just hit the wall, by the way. Y'all didn't see that. It was clean.
Thank you.
But let's talk about also, like, you do so many crazy things. Like, you're an artist as well. You have been in the arts since you were at a young age. Like,
yes, my first headshot was at 6 months old.
Wow.
Yes. I did lots of modeling growing up as a kid, and then, auditioning for Disney Channel things.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because it came full circle when I did this Disney Channel show when I was in Los Angeles after graduating.
Yeah.
And
what was the name of the show?
Live and Maddie.
Live and
Maddie.
I think I've seen that before.
But you'll really see me on this Discovery Channel show called Married with Secrets.
Okay.
And it's like about this doctor who has 2 whole different families and stuff. And I'm like the kid and have to call the police. It's really dramatic.
Right.
So, but it's a lifetime Discovery sort of thing.
For sure.
And then my Hollywood Bowl performance with Kanye West.
Yeah.
We did 808s and Heartbreak in 2015.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I love the arts. I'm singer, dancer, actor, that sort of thing. But, wellness is my foundation. So, whatever I can do, it's because of my wellness and how I'm treating myself,
Right.
How all those Black female actresses can, play. Gabrielle Union played that high schooler at 30 years old.
That was crazy.
And I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah. It's all about the popping skin, right?
Yeah, popping skin and taking care of it.
Right.
So when you drink those green juices, that's going to allow your melanin to really thrive.
Yeah.
It really will. Things,
And that watermelon juice hit, y'all.
I'm so
She hooked
happy
me up
you
with
enjoyed
that.
it.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that. Definitely loved it. What are some other things that are important to you, like, in this space? Like, what do you see as far as, like, your activism, things you want to see done better in DC that maybe you couldn't see from, like, the LA community?
Yeah. The 2 things. Edible activism is a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
It's like you vote with your dollar.
Right.
Like, what am I going to spend my money on? What am I going to put into my body? Like, I'm voting in that regard.
Right.
So, the more you want to fund McDonald's and Starbucks, like, that's going to create more McDonald's and Starbucks, when what we really need is to support our local farmers, sustainable, allow them to thrive. And they're creating, and, they'll be able to have a bigger farm and use more organic soil. So it's, not just conventional. So that's really important to me. Farmers markets, utilizing those, and then having a space for Black people.
Yeah.
That's extremely important.
We need our own space.
No, we need our own space. Yeah. And, it's honestly challenging topic, because I do have a lot of friends who are white and in that spiritual and vegan and, sustainable space, but nobody really says anything about the issues within the Black community. Right. And Black people are, at the forefront of sustainability all of the time. Like, we're not the ones using plastic bags like out there. If we do use plastic bags that we get from the grocery store, they're reused as trash can liners under our bathroom and are all compiled under our bathroom sink. So it's like reduce, reuse, recycle, and being, marginalized, quote unquote, in that sort of way has really created a space for us to, we have created that from being marginalized, more creative ways to be sustainable, more to be, healthy in that regard. Right. So, if there was more access and more, resources poured into the Black sustainable community, it would thrive and it would be more beneficial for everybody.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to take a little break here. And we'll be right back. This is Chris from Afrobeats with the Edible Activist podcast. And we'll be back.
You're listening to Perfect Day, produced by Artists Authentic. For more of Authentic's work, visit allornothingstudios.com.
So we're back. This is your boy Chris from Afro Beats. We got Kimora Brock with us.
Thank you.
Healer, activist,
artist,
entrepreneur. Girl, you better go ahead. Man.
Thank you.
All around boss out here. And so we're talking a little bit about self-love and electric foods and how we can take care of ourselves. I want to go a little bit deeper into your journey. I feel like you've had so much success like at a very young age.
LOL.
But like it seems like your path just totally took a different transition and you started this business and you know, was there anything else that really like sparked that idea just besides just wanting to live, you know, better?
It really was living to my highest potential that really inspired me. You know, spiritually, I feel like my purpose, my divine purpose on this planet is to uplift humanity with different information that, you know, is not necessarily new, but it's ancient. Right. And, you know, just to enhance and, you know, grow our community through those methodologies. And so plant-based living, holistic practices, being conscious and mindful, practicing yoga, things of that sort, you know, any sort of movement, sacred movement, really just focusing on the body, the breath, the mind, and spirit, and linking all of those things.
So what's like some of the work you've done with like looking back at our history, looking back at our ancestors? I know we were talking about the waist beads and like different pieces you have, and you seem like you're continuing to educate yourself on those things. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So right now I'm actually in Queen Afua's Sacred Healing Woman.
Okay.
Thank you.
We've heard that before.
Yes. Sacred Woman in Training. We graduate in end of July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But yes, we really focus on ancient Nile Valley Lotus woman traditions. What does that mean to be a sacred woman? Okay. You know, really upholding our divine feminine. And it's honestly, the women and the men, the women are really influencers. Like, we're the true influencers.
I was saying on my Instagram one time, like, black women are holding it down in this space. And I would love to see more black men, like, really get into this space and really get out there, because we need each other and we need to, you know, make sure we're pushing the culture forward.
It's so true. And, you know, pushing the culture forward. Yes. Not relying on past paradigms and stuff to define us, which is, you know, a lot of the foods we eat are past paradigms. Yeah. Like soul food. For me, soul food is something that uplifts and enlightens my soul. Right. You know, rainbow, electric foods, things like that with high energetic
redefining
value.
What that means.
Yes, redefining soul food, not cornbread, you know, pork greens and
stuff
mac
that
and
was
cheese.
given to us.
Stuff that was given to us. Chitlins? Are you kidding me? We're really about to eat the intestines of the most dirty animal on the planet.
It's definitely interesting, and food can be such a like judgmental space. It's like we have people in this food space that tell us what we're supposed to be doing, and like I'm always careful around soul food because I understand like the health effects, but I also understand, you know, it's a part of culture, and we just need to redefine it for ourselves and let nobody else tell us what's up.
Exactly. Have you seen that Boondocks episode where he
explained
Big Mama?
Food. Big Mama, y'all over there celebrating Big Mama's death with the same food that killed
Big Mama.
Oh man,
Big Mama,
Wild.
named rightfully so.
Right. Oh man,
Yeah.
everybody had a Big Mama for some reason.
I mean, for some reason, definitely. In my preschool,
Do you have a big family?
I do have. Yeah, I'm the smallest one for sure.
Okay.
But I have a large number quantity family.
Do you guys have like a lot of like cultural like celebrations? Anything you do? Like,
We
Thanksgiving?
celebrated Kwanzaa because we're African American or whatever that label is called. Africans really in America, but
I've always been interested in Kwanzaa, but I've never like actually heard anybody celebrate it.
Yeah.
I watched the Proud Family episode where they celebrated Kwanzaa that one time. I don't know if that counts.
I mean, it was like that one time we celebrated Kwanzaa. But yeah, we really just like take the time to value and appreciate each other on the daily, so you don't have to,
wait for a holiday.
to do that. So I feel really grateful. I feel so grateful to be in the family that I have. My mom is a science teacher. She understands, like she fed us, really well, made sure we ate our greens, had fresh fruit available for us. My dad, very smart. He put solar panels on our house, like way before solar panels were cool. And we were like, this looks ugly, but now we have like a 70-cent electric bill.
Right.
So there's that. And then, my sister does, helps people. She works for IRC. So she, refugee resettlement and things, and helping people get situated and resources they need. And, I just figured out.
Just dynamic family.
I appreciate them.
I was curious. I had in my mind, like, what is it going to take for Black men to get more involved in this space? And why do you think it's been so difficult up until this point?
There is a war on Black men, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's hard to talk about, but, I just think that Black women, if they continue to evolve ourselves, and if they continue to support and nurture and give the love that we're so good at giving, that it's possible. It's definitely, it'll happen sooner rather than later. So maybe, if you are a Black woman, invite a Black man to your yoga class, or invite a Black man to, come to one of our pop-ups when we're talking about plant-based living. Invite a Black man. That's what I gotta say.
That's what, I went to a Eat for Beauty DC event, and like it was like completely transformative. It wasn't in a space. I love them so much. That's actually how we met. Like,
exactly.
We were like picking up trash, and we were having a great time doing it. We killed that traffic medium. Like there is nothing.
There's not a single piece of trash in that area.
So, I loved that. I loved being in that space because it was just so energizing, and I kind of got to like look into myself and really find out what that means to be myself and practice that like self-love.
And when you take care of Mother Earth, she takes care of you.
For sure.
Yeah. The universe provides all the time.
What are some more ways we can take care of Mother Earth?
Eating a plant-based diet, driving a hybrid.
Yeah.
Things like wearing, not, to be like anti-consumerist, but I'm sort of anti-consumerist, but like going to Goodwill to shop, and like instead of having all that energy to produce new, it's not the way. We have everything we need provided from Earth, using more natural fabrics instead of synthetic stuff that pollutes the air.
For sure.
Things like that.
For sure.
Take the bus, metro.
Yeah.
Bike really is the key.
Bike is,
scoot,
DC's
skateboard.
A great biking city. Yeah, for sure.
Things like that in order to, pick up trash when you see it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's the same stuff we've heard over and over again. It's just about
nothing
executing.
new. It's execution. Yeah. And, what is it going to take for people to execute, when, the sky cracks open and we're like all like, I don't know, whatever that... No, start now before the earth implodes on itself.
Definitely do that. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I got some questions for you, rapid fire.
Okay.
You ready for that?
I am. Okay.
All right, because they're coming. All right, first question. What is your favorite leafy green?
Oh, collards.
Collards?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. All right, easy.
Yeah, easy done.
Just collards. Do you do anything specific with them?
Kepras has creamy collards,
Kepras,
and I love Kepras.
They see like salt. Oh man,
They're so good.
Don't get me started.
But yeah, I could literally just do salt, pepper, a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan.
Okay.
Make them a little soft. Ooh.
Hook it up.
Hook it up.
Hook it up. What is sweet, sour, spicy, or salty? You can only pick one.
Oh God. Sweet, because mangoes are my favorite.
Sweet
Yes.
gang up here.
Yes.
Sweet gang. What's your favorite fruit?
Mangoes.
Mangoes. See, this is meant to happen. Like, we both love mangoes, picking up trash. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
What's cooking in your pot these days, literally?
Cooking in my pot.
Yeah. Well, I know you were talking about like raw sometimes, or fixing in your bowl if you're not cooking your pot. What?
Oh, I'm a quinoa and lentils.
Okay.
I mean, that's the base.
Oh, yeah.
Quinoa, lentils, and then sweet potatoes. Add those chopped up.
Oh yeah.
And then I have my little kale, lightly steamed. Add that, and then I sprinkle it with whatever that makes it look pretty.
A little something, something.
A little something, something.
Right. Respect. And the last question: what is one way someone can channel their inner edible activist?
Inner edible activist. Let's start with drinking one green juice a day.
I like that. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Start small.
Just one green juice a day.
One green juice a day. Yeah.
And that could be like water and some green powder that you add, just to start. But then when you really start getting into it, it's like, okay, I'm going to make that celery juice, or I'm going to make that celery, kale, apple, ginger, or, all that other stuff.
You're going to level up.
Yeah, level up.
I like it.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much for being on here today.
Thank you.
You really blessed my space, and I'm definitely going to get into these trail mix in a minute.
Yeah, at Malibu Trail Mix.
At Malibu Trail Mix. And where can we find you on all your social media platforms?
Okay, my website is KimoraBrock.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you see all my offerings of holistic healing. And then my Instagram, which I'm way more...
Insta, though. She out there. She's singing. She's performing on the Insta.
Thank you. I try. It's at Kimora B-E-E, like the insect. Because those are my favorite insects.
That's your favorite
and
insect.
Brock
Somebody needs to
is
care
my
about
last
insects.
name. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. People do, especially bees.
Yeah.
When I have my big space, I'm definitely having an apiary. For sure. No doubt.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Chris from Afrobeats here with Kimora. You're listening to the Edible Activist podcast on Full Service Radio, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday.
See you later. Thanks
Peace.
for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We are here live on Full Service Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m., where you can catch today's episode on fullserviceradio.org, as well as iTunes and Spotify. Be sure to follow me at Food Talks in Color on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Are you an edible activist? Sure you are. Come join me on the show. I would love to feature you. Just shoot me a DM on the gram. Peace and blessings all. And remember, there is no culture without agriculture.
Thanks for listening to this program on Full Service Radio, broadcasting and recording from the Line Hotel in Adams Morgan, Washington, D.C. Full Service Radio programming can be accessed live and archived on fullserviceradio.org. Our talk programming is available on most podcast apps like iTunes and Stitcher, and our DJ sets are available on mixcloud.com/fullserviceradio. Full Service Radio features over 30 weekly shows and over 50 local hosts covering every topic imaginable. If you want to be a guest or get involved, email us at info@fullserviceradio.org. Follow us on Twitter at FullServiceRDO, on Instagram and Facebook at Full Service Radio. Thanks for listening.